Fighting out of the blue corner, silver and chrome trunks. He stands 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed in at 227.2 pounds. He holds a near perfect professional record of 10 victories, 1 defeat, with 7 of those wins coming by way of knockout. And he fights out of Dorado, Puerto Rico, by way of Cleveland, Ohio, USA. He is the multi-talented superstar who bridged the gap between social media and professional boxing. Boxer, a content creator, an entrepreneur, a philanthropist, and a promoter, and the self-proclaimed of boxing. Ladies and gentlemen, he is the problem child, Jake El Gallo Paul.
Please welcome superstar grime recording artist Stormzy as he brings to the ring
from home from him, and he looked very relaxed. Yes, he's walked this way before a few times, Fletch.
London, are you ready for me? Olympic gold. 13 wins. 13 devastating knockouts.
From Watford, England, the undefeated AJ Anthony Joshua!
What happens when a former heavyweight champion faces a YouTube star who refuses to quit? Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul. A fight nobody believed would happen, but everyone wanted to see. The boxing world was stunned when talks of Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul became reality. Joshua, the two-time heavyweight champion and Olympic gold medalist, has been in with some of the best heavyweights of his era. From his brutal knockout of Vladimir Klitschko in front of 90,000 at Wembley to his redemption win against Andy Ruiz Jr. in Saudi Arabia, Joshua built a reputation as a global superstar with thunderous power and resilience. His resume boasts wins over names like Dillian White, Joseph Parker, Alexander Povetkin, and Kubrat Pulev, all proof of his championship pedigree. On the other side stands Jake Paul, the internet sensation turned fighter. Once dismissed as a gimmick, Jake forced the boxing world to take notice with decisive knockouts of Tyron Woodley, a hard-fought win against Anderson Silva, and victories over the likes of Ben Askren and Nate Diaz. While critics question his opposition, there's no denying his discipline, business smarts, and ability to draw millions of viewers to his fights. Love him or hate him, Jake Paul has become one of boxing's biggest names. Joshua's career has been defined by resilience. After suffering a shocking defeat to Andy Ruiz Jr. in 2019, many wrote him off, but he returned with discipline and composure, outboxing Ruiz in their rematch to reclaim his belts. That ability to bounce back under immense pressure showed the world he wasn't just powerful, he had the heart of a champion. Fans also remember his absolute war with Klitschko, where Joshua was knocked down but came back to finish the legend in style. Meanwhile, Jake Paul built his own reputation by consistently silencing critics. Against Tyron Woodley, he produced one of the most brutal knockouts of the year, cementing himself as more than just a YouTuber playing boxing. His fight against Anderson Silva showed his stamina and composure, going toe-to-toe with one of combat sports' most respected veterans. Each victory grew his confidence and fan base, proving he had more grit than anyone expected. The stakes for this fight couldn't have been higher. For Joshua, this was about pride and legacy, proving he could not only dominate his division, but also shut down the circus of Jake Paul once and for all. For Jake, this was the chance to shock the world, to step from spectacle into legitimacy by taking down a former heavyweight king. Training camps painted a sharp contrast. Joshua focused on fundamentals, revisiting the jab and uppercut combinations that once terrorized the division. He sparred with top heavyweights, determined to re-establish himself as a dominant force. Jake Paul, meanwhile, doubled down on conditioning, sparring bigger opponents than ever before, and leaning on his signature overhand right, the very punch that flatlined Woodley and floored Silva. Fight night was electric. The arena shook as fans from two completely different worlds collided. Hardcore boxing purists cheering Joshua, and the new generation of fans roaring for Jake Paul. The spectacle felt surreal. Olympic gold versus YouTube gold. Stadium lights beamed, the crowd roared, and tension filled the air. The opening rounds were a chess match. Joshua's stiff jab controlled the distance, keeping Paul at the edge of his reach. Jake looked to slip and counter with looping right hands, trying to land the shot that made him famous. Each time Paul connected, his fans erupted, while Joshua's composure and ring IQ neutralized the danger. By the middle rounds, Joshua began to shift gears. His hooks and uppercuts broke through Jake's high guard, forcing Paul back into the ropes. Joshua's body shots drained Jake's energy, making him visibly slower. Yet Jake didn't fold. He fired back, showing courage that earned him respect even from his harshest critics. In round 7, the pace quickened. Joshua landed a sharp right hand that snapped Paul's head back, followed by punishing combinations. The difference in size, power, and experience was becoming clear. Still, Jake absorbed punishment and kept swinging, proving his toughness on the biggest stage. The later rounds were all Joshua. With calculated aggression, he closed the distance and dominated exchanges. In the 9th round, Joshua delivered a brutal uppercut, a shot reminiscent of his knockout against Klitschko, sending Jake Paul crashing to the canvas. The referee's count felt eternal, but Paul couldn't recover. Anthony Joshua was declared the winner by TKO. In victory, Joshua restored his aura as a feared heavyweight and silenced critics who doubted him. For Jake Paul, the loss didn't destroy him, it elevated his reputation. He had dared to face one of boxing's biggest stars, endured punishment, and showed heart that many never thought he had. This fight may not have been for belts, but it was for pride, legacy, and the future of boxing's entertainment era. It proved that spectacle and skill can coexist, and for one unforgettable night, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul delivered a fight fans will never forget. We dive into one of the craziest rumors shaking the fight world, Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul, a two-time unified heavyweight champion against the internet's most polarizing boxing star. Is it a real fight? Could it happen? And who wins? Let's break it all down.
But you said it's you and Joshua here. Now, is this fight done? What are we talking about?
You know, it's going to happen. Like, seriously, it's going to happen. We were talking with Turkey tonight, negotiations live in person, which are always fun. But it's going to happen, and it's just such an exciting fight that crosses the whole globe.
What Jake Paul doing in boxing, it's good for boxing to have young...
First, Anthony Joshua, Olympic gold medalist, former WBA, IBF, WBO, and IBO heavyweight champion. 28 wins, 25 by knockout. A massive puncher, standing 6'6" with speed and heavyweight pedigree. On the other side, Jake Paul. From YouTube prankster to legitimate pay-per-view draw. 9 pro fights, only 1 loss, to Tommy Fury. A solid right hand, decent timing, and a fearless self-belief that keeps shocking critics.
You actually think Jake Paul knocks out Joshua? Seriously?
Jake Paul chins AJ, yes, they fight.
Are you serious?
100%. If they fight, I'm putting £1 million on Jake Paul.
What?
Yeah.
He's a smart guy. He sees what I see, which is a weakness in somebody who's been fighting a bit too long, and people underestimate me and doubt me, and that's what they've done their whole career, but that's why I want the fight. I'm going to prove the world.
You might ask, why would Joshua fight Jake Paul? The answer? Money. Saudi backers reportedly want it, Jake Paul's camp accepted, and Joshua's promoter, Eddie Hearn, didn't shut it down completely. Even without a title on the line, it would sell out Wembley and break streaming records. For Jake Paul, it's the ultimate step up, from fighting MMA stars and small cruiserweights, straight into the lion's den of heavyweight boxing.
Really talking about a fight between him and Anthony Joshua?
Why not? It is win-win deal. He's guest for Queensberry, and we are talking now about the future. Let's what Jake Paul doing in boxing. It's good for boxing to have young generation. I am against some kinds of fight he do. I want to tell you example and surprise. I am thinking me and him to doing him against Joshua now. Joshua, if he destroy him, it will be good for...
Let's be real. Joshua is a natural 240-pound heavyweight with Olympic pedigree. Jake Paul walks around 185 to 190, usually fights at cruiserweight. The power difference? Insane. Joshua has KO'd top 10 heavyweights. Jake hasn't faced anyone over 200 pounds yet. In a real fight, Joshua's jab alone could control Jake Paul's entire game.
And I don't like the way that Jake Paul gravitates to these brilliant athletes and like a moth sucks the life out of them because he gets a benefit of association, because I think they deserve all the association. But he is a
Anthony Joshua is an insane fight, but I want that challenge. We've been DMing back and forth. He wants to make it happen. He called me up, and it's looking very likely for...
Be surprised if he thinks he's got a chance against Anthony Joshua. You know, Jake, I watched him, Jake. You'll knock him out. Yeah. It's like, you know, basing our career around a potential fight with Jake Paul. But if we were offered it, why not? I mean, it would be such an easy night's work.
But don't count Jake Paul out too quickly. He's tough, athletic, has decent timing, and the mental strength to keep trying. Against smaller opponents, he's shown real power. And let's not forget, one big right hand can change everything. The question is, could Jake Paul land that shot on a much bigger, more skilled man?
Actually, the fight that does the biggest numbers in the sport. Forget Canelo Crawford. That doesn't even touch the surface of, and I can't believe I'm saying it, of AJ against Jake Paul. If you want to do the biggest numbers in the sport, we'll make it happen. But please, I just want to, be careful what you wish for.
Listen to me, don't take a dive with this Jake Paul, mate. Do not do that, not for $1 billion, my pal. Don't do as the others have done. Do not take dives. If he fights, you knock him dead.
Who the is paying attention and watching and tuning in? Because Jake, you move like a white boy, dog. You move horrible. You look like you're clunky as and you got no rhythm.
So, what would really happen if they met in the ring? Best guess, Joshua uses the jab, controls distance, and finishes it inside 3 to 4 rounds. The sheer size, strength, and skill gap is too big. For Jake Paul, surviving a few rounds against a former unified heavyweight champ would still boost his stock massively. And for fans? It would be a wild circus-like event nobody could stop watching.
And Jake's winning. Jake's beating these guys. He's just very smart at picking the right opponents. He picks the right opponents perfectly. You know, people are out of their minds thinking Mike Tyson was going to beat him. Jake could have knocked him out in the first.
But what do you think? Could Jake Paul shock the world, or would Joshua crush him quickly? Drop your prediction in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell. We'll keep you updated if the fight becomes official. Until next time, keep your guard up and your passion for boxing strong.